Hey guys, SwapHelper.com here. We've got the 2001 Excursion. We're going to show you how to put these 11 to 16 Super Duty seats into the 01 Excursion. It's really straightforward using our Seat Helper product, which we've got over there. We've got our tools set aside here. I think that's everything we're going to need. We may have to add a few more to it as we go. But this is just a untouched, unmessed with set of 11 to 16 Super Duty seats out of a F250 along with the center console. So we're gonna jump in, we're gonna show you how to remove the seats, install the new seats, how to get it wired up, get all three stages of heat, cool, everything working that you're gonna need, movement in the seats and everything. It's really straightforward when you use our Seat Helper product. This particular Excursion is a 2001. It should be the same for any 99 to 07 setup. This particular Excursion has a power driver's seat and a heated driver's seat. The passenger seat is manual. So we'll show you how to do that install with this particular setup, but you can install these seats in any vehicle you want. All that the Seat Helper needs is ground, battery positive, and ignition to work. So even if your truck came equipped with totally basic unpowered seats, you want to do a 1960s Chevy, it doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you have, as long as it's got a battery that can provide 12 volts and an ignition source, you're good to go. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this stuff moved out of the way, then we're gonna show you how to take these stock seats out. All right guys, so this is the 01 Excursion. This one was used for development for some of our products, and that's why you see wires and junk hanging out everywhere, because it's been taken apart a ton of times. So the first thing I like to do, we are gonna have to disconnect the battery for this install, but you're gonna see here, you've got two Torx screws that need to be removed in the front, and this is a TP55. Both of them, all of them are going to be TP55s, and then you're going to have some nuts that you have to remove from the seats as well. It's the same on both sides, so that's all you'll need to remove the seat is the TP55 and the 18mm socket. So I'll move this back. I like to get it all, out of the way, move the seat back as much as possible to get to these. You're probably not supposed to use an impact on these, but I may use one just to speed this up. But I recommend just doing an old ratchet or using a ratchet to get them out. Now we'll take a look at the back ones. Let me move the seat forward. You can see these old seats. Seen better days. It's going to be way nicer when we've got the 11 to 16 Super Duty seats installed. Okay, so we're going to move that all the way forward. And then we've got back here, we've got another TP55, and then these caps come off. It's just a, see, sometimes that happens. You have to get something to take that off, but that's the 18mm. And so with the seat move forward, you get access to these. Like I said, we are gonna have to disconnect the battery, but if you have a power seat, it's easier to at least undo these while the battery is still connected. So what we're gonna do is get this seat and this seat unbolted, then we'll show you disconnecting the battery. And then the console is super straightforward. If you go on the bottom of it, we'll show you it's got 4 10mm bolts that you'll want to remove, and it's up to you. You can run the newer seats with the old console. If you, let's say for instance, you haven't swapped your dash, the only thing is you're not gonna have an armrest, so that can be kind of a pain because the newer center console is taller, and to use it as an armrest. So we're gonna go ahead and get these unbolted, and then we'll show you the center console and pulling these seats out. All right, quick look here. I got the first one out. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, it's a TP55, which looks like this. Okay, and that's what you're going to use on all of those Torx. Okay, so now we just got to do that 6 more times. All right, we got the seats unbolted. They're ready to pull out all the way around. So I've got the console open right now. There's a little thing that is here, and you just take that out. Underneath here, you pull this up if you have one. There are 4 8mm screws that you have to take out, and then you can pull the console out. Now, this is an Excursion, so it's got rear controls, so you'll have to undo the connector so that you can pull it out completely. This one's been out a bunch of times and never got hooked back up since obviously the dash is in the state it's in. So all I have to do is undo these 4, and then we can pull it out. And you're going to need to do this because we're going to have to be able to route the Seat Helper harness underneath the carpet. All right, so now we've got the center console unscrewed. We basically have those 4 screws removed. As I said, the connector's already disconnected. That's only on the Excursions. The Super Duties from this era do not have that. And so what you can do, if you have a power seat, I just lean them back. This has got a little bit of tar from the Dynamat or whatever we put in this thing a long time ago. And this one, you see there's a connector there. I don't think I can get this with one hand. I did, okay. So that's done. And now this seat's ready to come out. The other seat, as I mentioned, is not power. So I can't lift this out with one hand. So we're gonna go ahead and get this pulled out, get that one, to get the center console out and that seat, and then we'll show you what we got. Okay, we got the seats out, center console out, and we got the seat helper here ready to go. Full disclosure, it's not gonna look this clean under your seats unless you go get a shop vac, which is what we did to clean it up. Oops. All right, so this is the seat helper, and this is the key to this install. This is what makes it super easy to get these seats in this truck and get them up and running. So we already did the unboxing video. If you haven't seen it already, I suggest you pause this video and go and open that video. It's super important to go through everything. We're not gonna go through all of it again because that video will cover everything you need to go through or everything that's included and how everything works. So for this install, we're gonna use these. Obviously going to use the module and the harness, although we're not going to use every piece of it because this truck already had heated seats. It did turn out, my mistake, that the passenger side was heated, but the seat was not power. But it's already here, so we'll be able to use that. So we'll not be using these. We're going to go ahead and get all this stuff opened up and get everything kind of laid out. And then we're going to show you how you're going to run this underneath to the other side, and then we'll go from there. Okay, before you get started on the install, the most important thing you have to do is disconnect the battery. So now this might look a little odd, given this is an Excursion. That's a 6.7 Cummins, and this is a custom battery tray and all that kind of good stuff. So this is gonna look a little different than yours, but what I'm gonna do here is just loosen up the positive lead here, and then we're gonna disconnect that. So now the power is off to the vehicle. So you do not wanna try to do this install with the power connected or with the batteries connected, because you can cause issues, blow fuses, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I've got the seat helper harnesses and everything opened up, and the pieces that we're going to use. For this particular setup, now we support different seats and we have different harnesses for different seats, but this is for an 11 to 16 Super Duty seat, which is going to be similar to like a 2009 to 2014 F-150 seat. The harnesses that you're going to receive from us will be the same. Yours might be a little different if it's like the 18 to 23 Mustang seats, but if they have the same connectors or similar connectors on either side, it'll be labeled driver and passenger. But in this case, you've got 2 connectors on the driver's side, 1 connector on the passenger side. And when we say driver's side, we're making reference to traditional North American driver's side. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this under the carpet, and then I've got the buttons laid out here as well. So these are our buttons. One's labeled driver, and the other's obviously passenger as a result of that. What we like to do to make this a little easier is, at this point, you've got the seats out. All you got to do is pull this up. Okay, and then there's normally a little kick panel down here. You can remove that, and we'll undo the seat belt, which is a smaller TP. It's not the 55. I'll tell you that after I remove it. And we're gonna fold this carpet back, and that's gonna make it easier for us to get this stuff run under the carpet and get everything ready to go. And then after we do that, then we're gonna do the wiring. We're gonna show you how to do that. And then we'll be ready to put the center console and the seats in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this undone, and then we'll peel this back, and I'll show you the next step. At this point, we have got the harness run underneath here. You'll see there's a little channel. If you're going to run your original center console, there's a little channel to run it through. We brought it out the original hole in the carpet there. It's important, and it's going to go up to the front of the seat like that. It's important that you make sure that wherever you route it, that it's not going to get squished underneath, like underneath the plate from the seat, from the mount of the seat. And make sure it doesn't get squished under there. I've not done the wiring yet, but you can see it's laid out pretty closely to what you see in the picture there from one of our previous installs that we put in the instructions. So you've got these connectors ready to go. These are the for the driver's seat. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the connector off here because we're not going to use it, and we're going to wire these wires to the seat helper. Now the seat belt, as mentioned in the unboxing video, the 11 to 16, well, the 2008 to 2016 seat belt latches, they are much more sophisticated than the older style that were just a simple on-off switch. And so the seat helper module will actually do the conversion for you. So in this case, for like a 99 to 07 Super Duty or Excursion, the seat belt indicator will work properly on the cluster without you having to change to a different seat belt latch. So we're going to connect the seat belt lead from here to the open position there on the seat helper module, and then we will connect these 3 wires to the existing wiring in the truck. So for now, we're going to go ahead and get all this stuff opened up. We're good as far as like this loom, get this exposed. Now, one thing I do want to note on this install, this is not the final build of this truck. Obviously, we've got this dash hanging out with wires and everything everywhere. And so this is kind of a quick and dirty install. If we were doing this for a final install, we would cut everything down, get everything to the length we want and all that. We're not going to trim anything down. We're going to leave it kind of loose because this is not the final install on the truck. And as usual, we're always on a time crunch trying to get stuff done. We just want to get this video filmed and out for you guys. Point being, take your time, do your install, make it nice. As we say with most of our products, the final fit and finish and the outcome is directly proportional to the amount of time you spend doing everything correctly, reading the instructions, taking your time. So with that, we're going to go ahead and work on getting all this stuff cut and ready to crimp together. Quick update, I forgot that since this truck was equipped with a power seat, that we don't have to do the ignition tap. It is covered in the instructions, but we will not be covering it. It's pretty simple. You just do what we did here, run a wire up there, and then go to the position and put in add a fuse that looks like this guy. And all you do is take out the fuse that's in the position you need. You put that fuse just below that fuse, so you have 2 fuses right next to each other. And then you're gonna put it into the fuse block. We've got the seatbelt wire here, which is gonna be brown light blue. And we've got that run over here into this position. You're gonna wanna use a screwdriver like this, make sure you get it nice and tight. So that's gonna be ready to go, so that'll function properly. And then we used our crimps and we got everything connected, and they're all labeled. They tell you what they are, and those are covered here, and they tell you which positions to connect to. And so we've got that ready to go there. It's imperative, as covered in the instructions, that you use a crimper that crimps on the front, not on the back. You'll never get a good crimp. And of course, you're welcome to crimp them and then solder them. We'll have another video covering crimping versus soldering at a later point in time, but you want a nice set like this that you can really put a lot of torque on and really make sure you secure those crimps so that they're good to go. All right, I got the heat gun, so we're gonna slide the shrink wraps over these crimps, and then we're gonna heat them up. Okay, we got everything tidied up here. These are way too long, and I would have cut them down, but like I said, we're gonna redo these anyways. But also because I wanted to leave these tags on so you could see they're labeled, show you what they connect to, etc. The seat helper module itself, you can zip tie it to the frame of the seat in the area where it doesn't move on the seat, or you can set it up, so it stays down here. Like I said, these are too long and could have been cut down. We leave them like this because people install these in all kinds of vehicles, and so we'd rather give you too much and you can cut it down than not give you enough. But everything's just about in the right place. When you put the seats in, as I said, you want to make sure that you don't squish the wires underneath the mounting brackets of the seat. We got the passenger side, we got this side ready to go. We pulled the buttons up to here. Now, as far as the buttons, you can mount them anywhere you want, and you can use different buttons or rockers or static rockers, momentary rockers, all kinds of stuff. You could mount them inside the console if you want. You could put them into the side of the seat on either side. They can be extended. Whatever you want to do, you can run them up here, get a plate right here, drill a couple holes in it. Options are endless. And that's the nice thing about this setup, is it gives you the flexibility to be able to install these seats in any vehicle with an unlimited number of options on how to do your install. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the seats and the center console and start setting this stuff in here. Quick note, in my experience, we've had to hog out these inside bolt holes on either side so that you can get the bolt in there to secure the seat. So I just use a die grinder with a bit like that. Short work, takes 20 seconds. And just make sure you use the shop vac, clean that up, wear eye protection, all that kind of good stuff, and then you should be able to put the bolt in. Okay, so the seats are installed. We have run out of daylight, obviously, but thankfully we've got this little light to help us out. The bugs are going strong here in Texas. So we've got them bolted in. It's difficult to see down here, but they're bolted back in. They're hooked up. You just plug in the plugs, and we've got movement, lumbar, all that kind of good stuff on both sides. We've got the center console installed from an 11 to 16. That's a video for another time. But that's going to be your armrest when you move over to these style seats, since the armrest is no longer on the side. So I've got the buttons just hanging out here for right now, and you'll notice they don't do anything, but we've got driver's side here. So let's turn the ignition on. There's the heat. Long press. We don't want heat down here in Texas right now. It may look a little purple, but it looks very blue in person. I don't know if you can hear that, but the fans are running. It's cooling off all these little bugs that have gotten on the seats. But that's it. It's up and running. Good to go. Heated, cooled. 3 levels of heat, 3 levels of cool. We've got movement. Everything's functioning properly. Got them installed. Automatically turns on based on cab temperature when you turn the ignition on if needed. Save state, all the good stuff. So we highly recommend that you use our Seat Helper kit. It makes this install a dream. So thanks for your time, guys, and we'll see you next time.